How's it going, guys? Dragon Star Production here, back with another video, and in this edition of Dragon Ball What Ifs, we will be covering a new what if, that being what if future Krillin survived. That being said, we're going to hop straight into the intro and then into the story. Alright, and before we start this story, I do want to advise everybody that this timeline does get rather dark, so if you don't like this type of stuff, go ahead and click off the video. With that being said, Android 17 and Android 18 both were destroying city after city. However, they were also killing the Z Fighters one by one. First, it was Yamcha. Then it was Tenshinhan and Chiaotzu, followed by Piccolo, and even a Super Saiyan in Vegeta. This would leave Gohan, Trunks, Bulma, and Krillin all alive in this timeline, with no Goku due to the dying from the heart virus. But I believe I have some questions to answer first. How did Krillin survive the android's first encounter, and how come he hasn't been caught yet? So, I'll have to start with Krillin's first encounter with the androids. Krillin was going off to aid the city like he would normally do. However, Krillin knew that he was outmatched because he has already heard that the other Z Fighters have not only been beaten, but basically slaughtered by the androids. So Krillin falls into a nervous state. He finds himself in a building, hiding from Android 17 and Android 18, until Android 17 would then rush into his face and throws him straight towards Android 18. 18 grabs Krillin by his gi and pulls him up, but this is when Krillin uses one of his techniques and uses the solar flare, blinding both of the androids right then and there. Krillin then gets a head start, but doesn't quite get away. Krillin, while flying, goes towards some of the mountains. Krillin then uses one of his other tricks up his sleeve in the tri-form technique, splitting himself into three. Two of the splits are able to hold off the androids for a whole second, but it was a second long enough for Krillin to be hiding at Goku's old house. When he goes inside, he sees Chi-Chi, shocked that she is still alive, but Krillin was happy to see her because everything that was going on was quite dangerous and he wanted to see a familiar face. Krillin begins telling Chi-Chi of how dangerous the androids were and how they literally killed all of the other Z Fighters, and this puts Chi-Chi in a scare. But Krillin notices somebody else is there. This, however, is Gohan, and this is where Krillin has a light bulb pop off in his head to train Gohan. Krillin knew that he had to train Gohan, so Krillin would show Gohan everything that he knows, and Gohan's power would skyrocket. And Krillin wouldn't be too shabby himself in improving his power level as well. And the two's bond would be growing quite larger, and the combo techniques that they were doing, Krillin thought would be useful against the androids. Krillin would basically move in, but he didn't mind helping Chi-Chi, so Chi-Chi didn't mind him being there either. Krillin and Gohan's bond, like I said, would grow much larger, more like Gohan's and Piccolo's in the canon story. However, the biggest difference here would be the techniques and the way that Gohan was taught. He learned much more of the Turtle Hermit way, which Krillin always pointed out that Gohan had something to look forward to. He had his father in the other world so proud of him. The two then would continue their training as much as possible until Krillin realized that he needed to have Gohan do some more intense training. So Krillin remembers the lookout, and he just hopes that it's still there while they're on their way. To their luck, Mr. Popo was still there and allowed them to train up there as long as they needed to. And I'd also like to mention that this doesn't mean that Krillin and Gohan will be training in the time chamber, and that's because they aren't. Because the androids are just literally demolishing everything, trying to keep a steady food source would be kind of hard. They were just kind of lucky to have the few sensu beans that they had, and Krillin also tried to make it a point to contact Yajirobe to teach him how to grow sensu beans, but this doesn't work quite well, so this ends up meaning that Gohan will only get minimum Zenkai boost as well as Krillin. But by this time, Krillin and Gohan's moves are very diverse, and when it came to this, Gohan felt it was necessary to stop the android soon because he felt he was ready. But Krillin mentions that he isn't even a Super Saiyan yet. And this is when the training got much more intense. Even having Mr. Popo join in on some of the outdoor training. This wasn't much, but it was enough to have Gohan, at least in base form, surpass Vegeta's before ascending. However, like I said, Mr. Popo wouldn't train for very long, so Krillin always made it a point that every day that he would push Gohan further and further. Krillin also points out that Gohan is just like Goku, and this really takes home with Gohan. Actually, it makes him miss it. So Gohan told Krillin that he needed to go check on his mother. Although Krillin tried to stop him, it was too late. Gohan had already left. And he dashes off and he's heading straight towards Chi-Chi. However, while Gohan was flying back, he sees Android 18 all alone. She was sitting there just watching 17 have a joyride, and Gohan couldn't stand by and just watch 17 just torment the innocent humans left in the city, so launched into battle. His energy spikes, causing Krillin to be alerted. Within seconds, Krillin launches full speed towards Gohan, just hoping that he can get there in time to at least help him escape. Meanwhile, Gohan came across 18. He wasted no time and he kicked her square in the face. 18 goes flying back, but is pissed by the cheap shot. Gohan is able to hold his own there with 18 alone, but not because of his power, but because Gohan is just sliding and weaving, simply dodging all the attacks that 18 is throwing. Gohan used all of his techniques, but to no prevail. He couldn't do anything. Gohan, in the middle of the fight, realizes that this was a mistake, and Android 17 would then fly over, but doesn't interrupt. Android 18 would then dive straight in at Gohan. However, while running, her arm was then sliced by a Destructo Disc. Krillin, knowing 17 would come for him, waits for him, and hits a solar flare, temporarily blinding 17. This gives Krillin enough time to escape, but not to Chi-Chi's. This, instead, the two managed to escape to Capsule Corp. It was the closest thing around them, and Krillin knew Bulma wouldn't mind helping them in whichever way that she possibly could. This is also when Krillin, Gohan, and Bulma would all have the idea of the time chamber, and going back to get Goku and possibly cure the heart virus, because Bulma felt it was a good idea. However, because the two fighters couldn't do very much, Bulma worked on the time machine, while Trunks would particularly train with the two, considering that Bulma knew that Trunks was one of the only people that could defend the Earth. The three would then train intensely in some gravity chambers, and they would grow immensely stronger than what they probably would be in the canon story. Trunks is now also getting 2 mentors instead of 1, so Trunks is definitely going to be a lot more of an impact later on in the future timeline. However, because the two were working on them, this does mean that Bulma does finish the time machine much sooner, and because Krillin is very shy about going, Gohan isn't sure, and Trunks just wants to go on for the adventure, all three are heading back in time. Considering that Bulma has been safe for this long, she thinks that she'll be fine, at least if, they spend no time in the future, because that's what they initially think the time chamber will do. That being said, this is where we're going to be leaving off. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. This has been a whole lot of fun to write, and I would really love to make a part 2 real soon. So that being said, I really hope you guys don't forget to like this video, comment down below is your favorite part, because if this video gets to 150 likes, I will be sure to post a part 2 here soon. And when I say part 2, I mean very, very soon. It's already written, you just got to get it to 150 likes. That being said, thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, join the Discord, and subscribe to the channel, turning on that bell notification so that you get any alerts whenever I upload. Alright guys, it has been Dragonstar Productions. I am out.